यस भिडियोमा तपाईहरूको लाइक्स र कमेन्ट्सहरूको आशा गरेको छु। तो प्लिज लाइक्स र कमेन्ट्सहरू गरी मलाई हौसला प्रदान गर्नुहोस्। भिडियोमा लाइक्स र कमेन्ट्स अनिवार्य रूपले गर्नुहोला। कक्षा 12 का सम्पूर्ण नोट्सहरूका लागि भिजिट गरौँ मेरो साइटमा जसको नाम रहेको छ एनईबी इंग्लिश सपोर्ट क्लास 12। मेरो साइटमा भिजिट गर्न सिम्पली गुगलमा सर्च गर्नुहोस् एनईबी इंग्लिश सपोर्ट क्लास 12 र आफ्नो कक्षा 12 को नोट कपी तयार गर्नुहोस्। Let's start. Anita Desai's short story, A Devoted Son in Nepali, Compulsory English, Class 12, New Course, presenting for you detailed summary. About author. Background of the author. लेखक को पृष्ठभूमि. नाम अनीता देसाई. वास्तविक नाम अनीता मुजुमदार. राष्ट्रीयता भारतीय. जन्म मिति वहाँ को जन्म सन् 1937 24 जून का दिनमा भएको थियो. जन्म स्थान वहाँ को जन्म भारत को मसूरीमा भएको थियो. वहाँ को पेशा लेखक र प्राध्यापक. वहाँका ख्याति प्राप्त कार्यहरू इन कस्टडी, बम गार्टनर्स बम्बई. वहाँका ख्याति प्राप्त पुरस्कारहरू. वहाँका ख्याति प्राप्त पुरस्कारहरू पद्म भूषण र साहित्य अकादमी अवार्ड. Now presenting detailed summary for you to understand. Summary in both English and Nepali languages. हामीहरूले हाम्रा अग्रजहरूको सदैव सम्मान र हेरविचार गर्नुपर्दछ. This short story, A Devoted Son, has been written by a famous Indian writer, Anita Desai. यो संक्षिप्त कथा अ डिवोटेड सन अर्थात एक समर्पित पुत्र एकजना प्रसिद्ध भारतीय लेखिका अनिता देसाईद्वारा लेखिएको हो. The story initially appeared in Anita Desai's story collection named Games at Twilight and Other Stories. कथा प्रारम्भमा अनिता देसाईको कथा संग्रह Games at Twilight and Other Stories मा देखिएको थियो. This collection of stories was first published in 1978 by Vintage that had received widespread popularity. कथाहरूको यो संग्रह प्रारम्भमा सन् 1978 मा भिन्टेजद्वारा प्रकाशित गरिएको थियो जसलाई व्यापक रूपमा लोकप्रियता प्राप्त भएको थियो. The story A Devoted Son of this collection has mainly presented contemporary urban Indian people and their lives. यस संग्रहको कथा A Devoted Sonले मुख्य रूपले समकालीन शहरी भारतीय मानिसहरूको र उनीहरूको जीवनलाई प्रस्तुत गरेको छ. This story is about a devoted Indian son who has tried his best to serve his family members. यो कथा एकजना समर्पित भारतीय पुत्रको हो जसले आफ्नो परिवारका सदस्यहरूको सेवा गर्ने आफ्नो सक्दो प्रयास गरेको छ. We find various themes here in this story as devotion, gratitude, desire, change, longing, choice, freedom, defiance, loyalty, powerlessness, and reliance. हामीहरू यस कथामा समर्पण, कृतज्ञता, इच्छा, परिवर्तन, लालसा, रुजाई, स्वतन्त्रता, अवज्ञा, वफादारी, शक्तिहीनता र निर्भरता जस्ता मूल भावहरू भेटाउँछौं. This story has been narrated through a third-person narrator. यो कथा एक तृतीय पुरुष कथावाचकद्वारा सुनाइएको हो. This story is based on the life of a doctor whose name is Dr. Rakesh. यो कथा एकजना डाक्टरको जीवनमा आधारित छ जसको नाम हो डाक्टर राकेश. He is the main character of this story. ऊ यस कथाको मुख्य पात्र हो। द मेन क्यारेक्टर राकेश बिलोङ्ड टु अ पुअर फ्यामिली ब्याकग्राउन्ड। मुख्य पात्र राकेश एक गरिब पारिवारिक पृष्ठभूमिबाट थियो। His grandparents used to work as vegetable vendors. उसका हजुरआमा र हजुरबुवा तरकारी विक्रेताहरूको काम गर्नुहुन्थ्यो। His father had spent his 40 years in a kerosene depot working so hard. उसका बुवाले आफ्नो जीवनको 40 वर्षहरू मट्टी तेल बिक्री केन्द्रमा कडा मेहनत साथ काम गर्दै बिताउनु भएको थियो। His mother had engaged herself honestly being a housewife doing household tasks. उसको आमाले एक गृहिणी भएको नाताले इमानदारीता साथ घरायसी कार्यहरू गर्दै आफूलाई व्यस्त राख्नु भएको थियो। She had spent her entire time looking after her family members and kitchen tasks. उहाँले आफ्नो सम्पूर्ण समय आफ्ना परिवारका सदस्यहरूको हेरविचार र भन्सा कोठाको कार्यहरूमा बिताउनु भएको थियो। They had a small yellow-colored house at the end of the road. सडकको अन्त्यछेउमा उहाँहरूको एउटा पहिलो रङको सानो घर थियो। Rakesh's parents were uneducated and had years of the dream of having an educated son. राकेशका आमा बुवा अशिक्षित हुनुहुन्थ्यो र उहाँहरूको वर्षौंको सपना एक शिक्षित छोरा होस् भन्ने थियो। Now presenting main plot. मुख्य कथासार. The story starts with the morning newspaper in Rakesh's hand. कथाको सुरुवात राकेशको हातमा बिहानको समाचार पत्रसँगै हुन्छ। The morning newspaper brought an atmosphere of celebration in the Burma's family, which contained the news of Rakesh's top pass marks in the country. बिहानको समाचार पत्रले बर्माको परिवारमा अवसरको माहौल ल्यायो, जसमा राकेशको गाउँभरिमै सबैभन्दा बढी पासाङ्क आएको समाचार थियो। At first, Rakesh touched his father's feet and informed his father about his achievement. प्रारम्भमा राकेशले आफ्नो बुबाको गोडाहरूमा ढोक गर्यो र आफ्नो उपलब्धि बारे आफ्नो बुवालाई बतायो। The result of Rakesh made all the members happy. राकेशको परिणामले सम्पूर्ण परिवारका सदस्यहरूलाई खुसी बनाइदियो। They whooped and danced. तिनीहरू झुमेर नाचे। When the people from the community knew about the achievement of Rakesh, they arrived at Rakesh's small yellow house at the end of the road to congratulate Burma's family members. जब समुदायका मानिसहरूलाई राकेशको उपलब्धिबारे थाहा भयो, तिनीहरू सडकको अन्त्यछेउमा अवस्थित राकेशको सानो पहिलो घरमा बर्माका परिवारका सदस्यहरूलाई बधाई दिनका निम्ति आइपुगे। They celebrated the occasion as a festival with sound and colors. तिनीहरूले यो अवसरलाई बाजागाजा र रङहरूका साथमा एक उत्सवको रूपमा मनाए। Rakesh was very well treated by the people with gifts. मानिसहरूद्वारा राकेशलाई उपहारहरूको साथमा राम्रो व्यवहार गरियो। The result of Rakesh brought a kind of happiness for all. राकेशको शैक्षिक परिणामले सबैका लागि एक प्रकारको खुसी ल्यायो। People were served with halwa. मानिसहरूलाई हलवा पस्कियो। Rakesh's success was a special matter of discussion in the neighborhood. राकेशको सफलता छिमेकमा चर्चाको एक विशेष मुद्दा थियो। The top grade in the whole country was a matter of pride, not only for Burma family members, but for all the people of the community. सम्पूर्ण गाउँमै सबैभन्दा माथिल्लो तह केवल बर्माको परिवारका सदस्यहरूका लागि मात्र होइन, तर समस्त गाउँका मानिसहरूका लागि गर्वको कुरा थियो। Rakesh was the only one who got the higher education first in Burma's family. बर्माको परिवारमा राकेश नै एक मात्र थियो जसले प्रारम्भमा उच्च शिक्षा हासिल गर्यो। People felt so good to see a son like Rakesh who was full of good manners. मानिसहरूलाई राम्रा संस्कारहरूले भरिएको राकेश जस्तो पुत्रलाई देखेर ज्यादै राम्रो लाग्यो. They had never seen such qualities in other sons in their surroundings. तिनीहरूले आफ्नो वरिपरि अरूहरूका पुत्रहरूमा यस्ता गुणहरू कहिले पनि देखेका थिएनन्. Tears rolled down from women's eyes when they heard the act of Rakesh in the morning time by his father. महिलाहरूका आँखाहरूबाट आँसु खसे जब तिनीहरूले राकेशका बुवाबाट राकेशको बिहानको क्रियाकलाप बारे सुने. यहाँ सुनेको कुरा थियो, राकेशले परिणाम सुनाउनु पहिले आफ्नो बुवालाई ढोगेको थियो. The result of Rakesh was the fruit of Rakesh's father's lifelong sacrifices. राकेशको परिणाम राकेशका बुबाको आजीवन बलिदानहरूको फल थियो. Burma had never stepped inside the school, but he made his son literate by doing his hard labor in his entire lifetime. बर्माले आफ्नो जीवनभर स्कुलभित्र पाइला टेक्नु भएको थिएन, तर उहाँले आफ्नो सम्पूर्ण जीवनभर कडा मेहनत गरी राकेशलाई शिक्षित बनाइदिनुभयो. Later on, Rakesh wrote a thesis for his MD and brought happiness to all. पछि गएर राकेशले आफ्नो एमडी तहका लागि थेसिस लेख्यो र सबैका लागि खुशहाली ल्यायो. He won a scholarship through his thesis and got a chance for his further study in the USA. उसले आफ्नो थेसिस मार्फत छात्रवृत्ति जित्यो र युएसएमा आफ्नो थप पढाइका लागि एउटा अवसर प्राप्त गर्यो. Burma never called the country's name America. He only learned to say the USA. बर्मा कहिले पनि देशको नाम अमेरिका भन्नुहुन्थेन, उहाँले द युएसए भन्न मात्र सिक्नु भएको थियो. He even prohibited his family members to say the word America. उहाँले आफ्ना परिवारका सदस्यहरूलाई समेत अमेरिका शब्द भन्न मनाही गर्नुभयो. According to him, ignorant neighbors only say America. उहाँका अनुसार केवल अबुझ छिमेकीहरू मात्र अमेरिका भन्दछन्. He asked all his family members to say the USA. उहाँले आफ्नो परिवारका सम्पूर्ण सदस्यहरूलाई the USA भन्न लगाउनुभयो. Burma informed about his son's achievement to everyone. बर्माले आफ्नो छोराको उपलब्धि बारे प्रत्येकलाई सूचित गर्नुभयो. He was so joyous about his son's grades and his academic trip to America for his medical education. उहाँ आफ्नो छोराको ग्रेडहरू र उसको चिकित्सा शिक्षाका लागि अमेरिकाको शैक्षिक यात्राका बारेमा ज्यादै खुसी हुनुहुन्थ्यो. Most of the neighbors congratulated Burma and wished his son good luck for his further studies. अधिकांश छिमेकीहरूले बर्मालाई बधाई र उहाँको छोरालाई अघिको पढाइका लागि शुभकामनाहरू दिए. Some of the neighbors were even worried about him. केही छिमेकीहरू उसको बारेमा चिन्तित समेत थिए. They supposed that the achievement would make Rakesh feel proud and forget his motherland. तिनीहरूले राकेश उपलब्धिले गर्दा घमण्ड महसुस गर्ला र आफ्नो मातृभूमिलाई बिर्सेला भनी ठाने. But Burma didn't care all that because he was so happy to know about the popularity of his son. तर बर्माले ती सबै कुराहरूको मतलब नै राख्नु भएन, किनकि उहाँ आफ्नो छोराको लोकप्रियता बारे थाहा पाई ज्यादै खुसी हुनुहुन्थ्यो. After passing his medical degree, Rakesh spent his most of time in America. चिकित्सा डिग्री पास गरे पश्चात राकेशले आफ्नो अधिक समय अमेरिकामै बितायो. He completed his medical degree quite easily and even got a reputed job in an American hospital. उसले आफ्नो चिकित्साको डिग्री ज्यादै सजिलो तरिकाले पूरा गर्यो र अमेरिकाको हस्पिटलमा एक प्रतिष्ठित जागिर समेत प्राप्त गर्यो. He used to send his awards to his home all the time. ऊ प्रत्येक समय आफ्नो पुरस्कारहरू घर पठाउने गर्दथ्यो. He kept on getting admired all the time through his awards. ऊ आफ्ना पुरस्कारहरूको माध्यमले प्रत्येक समय प्रशंसा प्राप्त गर्दथ्यो. In this way, he was in touch with his family and his people. यस प्रकारले ऊ आफ्नो परिवार र आफ्ना मानिसहरूको सम्पर्कमा थियो। राकेश लाइक्ड अमेरिका सो मच। राकेशले अमेरिका ज्यादै मन परायो। He was even admired for his aptitude by his colleagues. ऊ आफ्ना प्रतिभाका लागि आफ्ना सहकर्मीहरूबाट समेत प्रशंसा गरिन्थ्यो। But for Rakesh, his family was his priority. तर राकेशका लागि उसको परिवार नै प्राथमिकता थियो। He loved his family more than anything else in the world. ऊ संसारमा अन्य कुराहरूभन्दा बढी आफ्नो परिवारलाई माया गर्दथ्यो। He always hoped to return to his homeland. ऊ सदैव आफ्नो मातृभूमि फर्किने आशा गर्दथ्यो। He had a strong plan to come back to his homeland one day. ऊसँग एक दिन आफ्नो मातृभूमि फिर्ता हुने एक दरो योजना थियो। After gaining much experience and money, he returned to his homeland, hoping to work there. ज्यादै अनुभव र पैसा कमाइसके पश्चात ऊ आफ्नो मातृभूमिमा त्यही काम गर्ने इच्छाले फिर्ता आयो। Burma family didn't feel happy to find his son at home. बर्माको परिवार आफ्नो छोरालाई घरमा भेटाउँदा खुसी भएन। They wanted him to be settled there in America. उहाँहरू आफ्नो छोरा अमेरिकामै घरजम गरी बसोबास गरोस् भन्ने चाहनुहुन्थ्यो। They got surprised to find Rakesh's intention of leaving America and living in a rural village in India. उहाँहरू राकेशको अमेरिका छाडी एक ग्रामीण भारतीय गाउँमा बस्ने मनसाय भेटाउँदा चकित हुनुभयो। Next, they were again surprised to hear Rakesh's decision of marrying a village girl with no education. अर्को उहाँहरू पुनः राकेशको गाउँकी एक अशिक्षित केटीसँग बिहे गर्ने निर्णय सुन्दा चकित हुनुभयो। Marrying an uneducated village girl was the first act of Rakesh which he had done against his family members' will. राकेशको एक अशिक्षित गाउँले केटीसँग बिहे गर्ने कार्य उसको प्रथम कार्य थियो जुन उसले आफ्नो परिवारका सदस्यहरूको इच्छा विरुद्ध गरेको थियो। The family members even didn't object to him, thinking that educated Rakesh would have a somewhat bigger dream. शिक्षित राकेशको केही ठूलो सपना होला भनी सोच्दै परिवारका सदस्यहरूले उसको विरोध समेत गर्नु भएन। Rakesh's mother became quite surprised to find his son's act of not marrying a foreigner. राकेशको आमा आफ्नो छोराले एक विदेशी केटीसँग बिहे नगरेको कार्य देख्दा निकै चकित हुनुभयो। She had heard about Indian boys and their marriages with foreigners in foreign lands. उहाँले भारतीय केटाहरू र तिनीहरूको विदेशी भूमिहरूमा विदेशीहरूसँग बिहेहरू भएको कुरा सुन्नु भएको थियो। But Rakesh decided to marry a girl from his village. तर राकेशले आफ्नै गाउँको एउटा केटीसँग बिहे गर्ने निर्णय गर्यो। He married the daughter of an old villager who was their family friend. उसले एकजना बुढो गाउँलेको छोरीसँग बिहे गर्यो जो तिनीहरूको परिवारको पुरानो मित्र थियो। His wife was so pretty fat woman. उसको श्रीमती एक असाध्यै सुन्दर मोटी महिला थिइन्। She was uneducated and old-fashioned. तिनी एक अशिक्षित र पुरानो शैलीकी महिला थिइन्। She seemed too lazy, but she was quite placid and pleasant woman. तिनी सारै अल्छी देखिन्थिन्, तर तिनी धेरै शान्त र रमणीय महिला थिइन्। She tried her best to please others through her household talks. तिनी आफ्नो घरायसी कार्यहरू मार्फत अरूहरूलाई खुसी पार्ने आफ्नो सक्दो प्रयास गर्थिन्। After marriage, Rakesh started working in the city hospital. विवाह पश्चात राकेशले शहरको हस्पिटलमा काम गर्न सुरु गर्यो। The city hospital was quite different from that of those hospitals where he used to work earlier. शहरको हस्पिटल ती हस्पिटलहरूभन्दा निकै फरक थियो जहाँ ऊ पहिले काम गर्ने गर्दथ्यो। He decided to work in the same hospital and tried his best to bring changes. उसले त्यही हस्पिटलमा काम गर्ने निर्णय गर्यो र त्यस हस्पिटलमा परिवर्तनहरू ल्याउने आफ्नो सक्दो प्रयास गर्यो। Sooner he got a promotion and got the position of director in that hospital. चाँडै उसले पदोन्नति प्राप्त गर्यो र हस्पिटलमा निर्देशकको स्थान प्राप्त गर्यो। His promotion brought happiness to his family. उसको यो पदोन्नतिले उसको परिवारमा खुशहाली ल्यायो. The next happiness for him was the birth of his son. उसका लागि अर्को खुशहाली उसको छोराको जन्म थियो. He became quite happy and thought of his life as a complete one. ऊ निकै खुशी भयो र आफ्नो जीवन पूर्ण भएको ठान्यो. He worked in the city hospital for some years. उसले केही वर्षहरूसम्म शहरको हस्पिटलमा काम गर्यो. But later on he left the city hospital and started his clinic. तर पछि गएर उसले शहरको हस्पिटल छाड्यो र आफ्नो क्लिनिक सुरु गर्यो. He kept on serving his patients, being dutiful. ऊ कर्तव्यपालक भई आफ्ना रोगीहरूको सेवा गरिरह्यो. He became able to get name and fame through his clinic. ऊ यसै गरी नाम र प्रसिद्धि प्राप्त गर्न सक्षम भयो. He became the richest doctor in town. ऊ शहरको सबैभन्दा धनी डाक्टर बन्यो. His father grew old and got retirement from his kerosene dealer's depot where he had worked for 40 years. उसका बुबा निकै बुढा हुनुभयो र मट्टीतेल बिक्री केन्द्रबाट अवकाशित हुनुभयो जहाँ उहाँले 40 वर्ष काम गर्नु भएको थियो. During all those events, Rakesh never felt boastful and ungrateful towards his family. ती जम्मै घटनाहरूको समेटेर राकेशले कहिले पनि आफ्नो परिवारप्रति घमण्ड र अकृतज्ञता महसुस गरेन. He always had a sense of respect towards his family members. उसको आफ्नो परिवारका सदस्यहरूप्रति सदैव सम्मानको भावना थियो. He never forgot this sense from his life. उसले आफ्नो जीवनबाट कहिले पनि यस भावनालाई बिर्सेन. After that, he passed through the tragic incident. त्यसपछि उसले एक दुखान्त घटना झेल्नु पर्यो. His mother died. उसको आमा बित्नुभयो. Both Burma and Rakesh became so sad. दुवै जना बर्मा र राकेश निकै दुखी भए. Rakesh was contented because at least he was able to make her mother proud before her death. राकेश सन्तुष्ट थियो किनकि ऊ आफ्नो आमालाई मृत्यु पूर्व नै कम्तीमा गौरव महसुस गर्ने बनाउन सक्षम भयो. But his tension increased for his father. तर उसको तनाव उसको बुवाका लागि बढ्यो. He didn't have much time to take care of his father due to his own family life and job. उसको पारिवारिक जीवन र जागिरका कारण उसँग आफ्नो बुवाको हेरविचार गर्ने बढी समय थिएन. He tried his best to support his father by providing him with every essential need. उसले आफ्नो बुवालाई प्रत्येक आवश्यक कुराहरू प्रदान गरी समर्थन गर्ने आफ्नो सक्दो प्रयास गर्यो. After the death of his wife, Burma's health started reacting mysteriously. उहाँको श्रीमतीको मृत्यु पश्चात बर्माको स्वास्थ्य रहस्यात्मक हिसाबले प्रतिक्रिया गर्न थाल्यो. He fell ill frequently. उहाँ बारम्बार बिरामी हुन थाल्नुभयो. Rakesh even didn't know the actual cause of his father's frequent illness. राकेशले समेत आफ्नो बुबाको बारम्बार देखिने रोगको वास्तविक कारण बुझ्न सकेन. His father was quite good while his wife was alive. उसका बुबा उहाँको श्रीमती जीवित छँदा निकै राम्रा हुनुहुन्थ्यो. He seemed so happy and satisfied in his mentality. उहाँ आफ्नो मानसिक रूपमा ज्यादै खुशी र सन्तुष्ट देखिनुहुन्थ्यो. But after his wife's death, he found himself alone and suffered from depression. तर उहाँको श्रीमतीको मृत्यु पश्चात उहाँले आफूलाई एक्लो भेटाउनुभयो र मानसिक तनावको शिकार बन्नुभयो. He started doing unusual activities. उहाँले असामान्य गतिविधिहरू गर्न सुरु गर्नुभयो. He felt broken into pieces. उहाँले आफूलाई टुक्रिएको महसुस गर्नुभयो. At the birthday party of Rakesh's youngest son, when everyone became fearful about Burma's death, Rakesh postponed a birthday party only to recover his father's health completely fine. राकेशको कान्छो छोराको जन्मदिनको पार्टीमा जब हरेक जना बर्माको मृत्युबारे डराए, राकेशले आफ्नो बुवालाई पूर्ण रूपले निको पार्नका लागि जन्मदिनको पार्टी स्थगित गरिदियो. He provided his father with good medical treatment. उसले आफ्नो बुबालाई राम्रो चिकित्सा उपचार प्रदान गर्यो. Rakesh kept on doing his task of caring for his father, being a devoted son. राकेशले आफ्नो बुबाको एक समर्पित पुत्र भएको नाताले हेरविचार गर्ने आफ्नो कार्य गरिरह्यो. He didn't give up caring for his father. उसले आफ्नो बुबाको हेरविचार गर्ने कार्य छाडेन. As a good son, he used to provide his father morning tea in a brass tumbler. एक राम्रो पुत्रको रूपमा ऊ आफ्नो बुवालाई बिहानको चिया पित्तलको गिलासमा खुवाउँथ्यो. He used to read the morning newspaper for his father. ऊ आफ्नो बुवाका लागि बिहानको समाचार पत्र पढ्ने गर्दथ्यो. He always suggested his father to come out of his room and take fresh air in the garden outside. उसले सदैव आफ्नो बुवालाई कोठाबाट बाहिर आउने र बाहिर बगैँचामा ताजा हावा लिने सल्लाह दियो. The old man seemed satisfied with other things except for one, which was his diet plan. बुढा अन्य कुराहरूमा सन्तुष्ट देखिनुहुन्थ्यो, केवल एकमा देखिनुहुन्थेन, जुन उहाँको आहार अर्थात् खानेकुराको योजना थियो. Once Burma ordered Suji halwa to his daughter-in-law Beena and ate. एक पल्ट बर्माले आफ्नो बुहारी बीनालाई सुजी हलवा मगाउनुभयो र खानुभयो. He became quite ill. उहाँ निकै बिरामी हुनुभयो. After that, Rakesh prohibited halwa, oily and unhealthy food items for his father. त्यसपछि राकेशले बुबाका लागि हलवा, चिल्लो र अस्वस्थकर खानेकुराहरूमा प्रतिबन्ध लगाइदियो. The food items which the old man enjoyed a lot were gradually decreased. खानेकुराहरूको जुन बुढा बढी आनन्द उठाउनुहुन्थ्यो बिस्तारै घट्दै गए. Due to the old man's health, he was provided much with boiled foodstuffs. बुढाको स्वास्थ्यका कारण उहाँलाई बढी जसो उमालेको खानेकुराहरू प्रदान गरिन्थ्यो. Burma became restless in the lack of his best foodstuffs. बर्मा आफ्ना सबैभन्दा राम्रा खाने परिकारहरूको कमीले गर्दा बेचैन हुनुभयो. Burma got irritated with his son. बर्मा आफ्नो छोरासँग रिसाउनुभयो. He wanted to spend his remaining days enjoying and eating the things which he liked. उहाँ आफ्ना बचेका दिनहरू उहाँलाई मन परेका कुराहरू खाँदै र आनन्द उठाउँदै बिताउन चाहनुहुन्थ्यो. But Burma used to eat sweet items with the help of his grandson. तर बर्मा आफ्नो नातिको मद्दतले मिठाई परिकारहरू खाने गर्नुहुन्थ्यो. He used to give bribes to his grandchild for jalebis. उहाँ आफ्नो नातिलाई जलेबीहरू ल्याइदिएको निम्ति घुसहरू दिनुहुन्थ्यो. Rakesh got irritated to find his father's activities. राकेशलाई आफ्ना बुबाको क्रियाकलापहरू देखि ज्यादै रिस उठ्यो. He became worried about his son, thinking that his father would make his son less honorable than him. ऊ आफ्नो छोराको बारेमा उसका बुबा उसको सानो छोरालाई आफूभन्दा पनि कम सम्मानजनक बनाउनु हुनेछ भन्ने कुरा सोच्दै चिन्तित भयो. He blamed his father for making his son a liar. उसले आफ्नो बुबालाई आफ्नो छोरालाई एक ठग बनाउनु भयो भन्दै आरोप लगायो. For him, his father was spoiling his stomach as well as his grandson. उसका लागि उसका बुबा आफ्नो पेट साथै आफ्नो नातिलाई पनि बिगारिरहनु भएको थियो. Burma remained like a corpse after hearing his son's lectures. बर्मा एक लास जस्तै आफ्नो छोराको भाषणहरू सुनिरहनुभयो. In this way, the tension between father and son aroused. यस प्रकारले बुवा र छोरा बीच तनाव बढ्यो. Burma became quite fed up with both Rakesh and his wife. बर्मा दुवैजना राकेश र उसको श्रीमतीसँग दिक्क हुनुभयो. He started complaining about their acts of banning different things to his friend Bhatia. उहाँले आफ्नो साथी भाटियालाई तिनीहरूले विभिन्न कुराहरूमा लगाएको प्रतिबन्धका क्रियाकलापहरू बारे उजुरी गर्न सुरु गर्नुभयो. He told him about his miserable state in the house. उहाँले घरमा आफ्नो दयनीय अवस्थाबारे उसलाई बताउनुभयो. He blamed both Rakesh and his wife Beena as his haters. उहाँले राकेश र उसकी श्रीमती बीनालाई उहाँका घृणा योग्य पात्रहरू जस्तै हुन् भनी आरोप लगाउनुभयो. Both of them offered him boiled items to eat and the rest delicious items to smell only. दुवैजना उहाँलाई उमालेको परिकारहरू खान टक्र्याउँथे र बाँकी स्वादिष्ट परिकारहरू सुँघ्न मात्र दिन्थे. For Burma, Rakesh appeared like a cruel and tyrannical son. बर्माका लागि राकेश एक निर्दयी र अत्याचारी छोरो झैं देखिन थाल्यो. He directly told both husband and wife that he didn't like them. उहाँले सिधै उहाँ दुवैजना श्रीमान र श्रीमतीलाई मन पराउनु हुन्न भनी भनिदिनुभयो. He begged Rakesh to let him die. उहाँले मलाई मर्न देऊ भनी राकेशलाई बिन्ती गर्नुभयो. He didn't want to live a life being dependent on medicines only. उहाँ औषधिहरूमा मात्र निर्भर भई बाँच्न चाहनु हुँदैन थियो. He cried loudly and even smashed the bottles of medicine. उहाँ जोडले कराउनुभयो र औषधिका बोतलहरूलाई फुटाइदिनुभयो. But Rakesh never forgot his devotion towards his father. तर राकेशले आफ्नो बुबाप्रति आफ्नो समर्पण कहिले पनि बिर्सिएन. Their relationship became quite weak and Rakesh reached a state of choosing options whether to stay devoted or leave his father to die on his condition. उहाँहरूको सम्बन्ध निकै कमजोर भयो र राकेश एउटा यस्तो अवस्थामा पुग्यो जहाँ उसले विकल्पहरू रोज्नु पर्ने थियो. बुवाप्रति समर्पित रहिरहने वा बुवालाई उहाँकै हालमा मर्नका लागि छाडिदिने. But Rakesh chose to care his father. तर राकेशले आफ्नो बुवाको हेरविचार गर्ने कुरालाई रोज्यो. He wasn't able to make his father completely fine, but he kept on looking and caring for him, being a devoted son. ऊ आफ्नो बुवालाई पूर्ण रूपले निको पार्न सक्षम त भएन, तर उसले एक समर्पित पुत्र भई आफ्नो बुवाको हेरविचार गरिरह्यो. Rakesh tried his best to keep his father under control. राकेशले आफ्नो बुवालाई नियन्त्रणमा राख्न आफ्नो सक्दो प्रयास गर्यो. As a doctor, he was aware of various diseases which were increasing in the town with high speed. एक डाक्टर भएको नाताले उसलाई शहरमा उच्च वेगमा बढिरहेका अनेकौं रोगहरू बारे अवगत थियो. He knew very well about old people's health risks. उसलाई बुढा मानिसहरूको स्वास्थ्य जोखिमहरू बारे राम्ररी थाहा थियो. He wanted to keep his father away from getting weak and ill. ऊ आफ्नो बुवालाई कमजोर र बिरामी हुनबाट टाढा राख्न चाहन्थ्यो. He didn't leave his devotion towards his father till the end. उसले आफ्नो बुवाप्रतिको समर्पण अन्त्यसम्म पनि छाडेन. The devotion of Burma in the past for his son Rakesh in making him a doctor was seen within Rakesh too. बर्माको विगतको समर्पण जुन बर्माले आफ्नो छोरा राकेशलाई एक डाक्टर बनाउन्जेलसम्म देखाउनु भएको थियो, त्यही समर्पण राकेशमा पनि देखियो. Though he banned his father's foodstuffs, he only thought about his father's health. यद्यपि उसले आफ्नो बुबाको खानेकुराहरूमा प्रतिबन्ध लगायो, उसले केवल आफ्नै बुबाको स्वास्थ्यको बारेमा सोचेको थियो. He remained the same for his father thereafter. त्यसपछि ऊ आफ्नो बुबाका लागि त्यस्तै रह्यो. Here the main message of the writer to all of us that we all face similar situations in our family life and also have similar kinds of alternatives. यहाँ लेखकको हामीहरू सबैका लागि सन्देश यो हो कि हामीहरू सबै हाम्रो पारिवारिक जीवनमा यस्तै अवस्थाहरू झेल्छौं र यस्तै किसिमका रोजाइहरू हामीहरूसँग हुन्छन्. In these situations or choices, we shouldn't forget to respect and care for our elders. यी अवस्थाहरू वा रोजाइहरूमा हामीहरूले हाम्रा अग्रजहरूको सम्मान र हेरविचार गर्न बिर्सिनुहुन्न. We should try our best to devote our service towards them as they cared for us once. हामीहरूले उहाँहरूप्रति हाम्रो सेवा समर्पण गर्ने सक्दो प्रयास गर्नुपर्दछ। ठिक त्यस्तै जस्तो उहाँहरूले एकपल्ट हामीहरूको हेरविचार गर्नु भएको थियो। Will be continued. Short summary with textbooks, questions and answers in the second part of this video. Suraj Bhat.